To the main topic of episode 108 of the Security Token Show. Today we're going to be diving into where you can actually go and buy security tokens. This is a global phenomenon, but you do have to follow global regulations, and therefore many security tokens aren't necessarily available to all investors all around the world. And so that's why today we're going to cover all of the places that you can go ahead and purchase them today, but also in the near future. We've got an incredible and exciting list of companies coming to market bringing security tokens to you. Kyle, lead us off with where you can go ahead and buy them today.
Yeah, so let's talk about security token exchanges that are live right now. This means that they not only applied for a license, but they received approval from their local jurisdiction. And then not only that, but then they were able to launch a platform and have trading assets. And so we kick it off with a few main ones. Our market leader right now is INX. INX has their own token, the INX token, which represents revenue shares in the exchange itself, as well as it has blockchain capital, which is a very high-profile blockchain-based investment fund, as well as others, including Spice VC, Protos, and others. And so INX is our leader, but then after that, we also have T0, which has been consistently in the headlines over the last 2 or 3 years, being live with their own token as well, T0, but they also listed Overstock's digital dividend and others, including Aspen and potentially others in the future. So they're also live, and those two here in the US are really dominant in the space. But then when we look internationally, there are other leaders like Merge. Merge has really burst into the scene as they've been able to provide a platform for international issuers to still get access to the retail US audience as well as international investors. But then you've got ADDX as well, which has led the way in Asia with dozens of listings now and a very successful primary to secondary listing. And then finally, we have decentralized exchanges and other platforms like that, including Uniswap and others that are really paving the way from a DeFi perspective.
You got a lot of different options out here. I like the different distinction between T0, which really has all of their tokens available to retail. On INX right now, you are still limited to some accredited investor products, which means not everybody can qualify. And then, of course, internationally, like you said, you got Merge, you've also got NExchange, you've got CryptoSX, you've got Fusong, you've got many other out there that are focusing on, as you said, the international segment, specifically between Asia and Europe is how it tends to be. In fact, we know we have some difficulty getting some of the information out from Singapore just because of how strict the rules are over there, but it is a burgeoning scene. In fact, there's a lot going on, especially in the future, Kyle. We're currently at $1 billion market cap today, up 3 or 4x since last year already. But what's major news is we think that's easily going to 5x or 10x over the year with the information we're about to give you of all the new places that you're going to be able to trade on. You've got roughly 10, 11 or so, and again, it depends on where you are, where you can go again and access these. But we've got more than 25 more places that you're going to be able to trade. Isn't that right, Kyle?
Absolutely. If we just look at the US alone, we've got Securitized Markets, which made headlines as they're a market leader in the US that are launching their own ATS and exchange platform. We've got Oasis Pro Markets, Texture Capital, Rialto Markets. Figure has issued hundreds of millions of dollars of tokenized debt offerings through primary issuance. They also have an ATS. You've got PPEX from North Capital doing the same. Peets, which is another platform by Prometheum that's launching an ATS platform, and others that are exploring the space that have ATS licenses like Templum, SharesPost, CoinStreet's working on one, Watchdog, and others that are going to be getting into this space. So there is a ton going on in the US, but the US isn't just the only market.
It's exciting because the US, we mentioned 2 or 3 places you can go today, but right now we're telling you that it's going to 3 or 4x. You're going to have probably over 10 different venues within the year to go and trade, and that's, like, to your point, not the only place you can go. Internationally, we've got LCX in Liechtenstein. We've got Archax being the first approved in the UK. We've got HQLAX in Germany. We've got Bitfinex, as Kyle mentioned earlier, with his Company of the Week out of Kazakhstan. We've also got Tokenized GSX out of Gibraltar. We've got the SDX, My Company of the Week, in Switzerland being approved to do security tokens. That right there alone is another 8 in Europe or so that you're going to be able to check out. Then, of course, across the world, we've got Liquify in the UAE. We've got Symmetria in Israel. We've got the ERX in Thailand, the OSL in Hong Kong. We've got SBI announcing plans in Japan. We've got Huobi and Tokai announcing plans in Japan. And in Singapore, as we keep telling you, such a hotbed, ECXX, DBS, Shareable Asset, SDAX, and many more, all planning to come live with regulated marketplaces for security tokens. Very, very exciting stuff. And that's not just the centralized stuff, you've also got IX swap and CardX on the DeFi side. So you may start to see some more innovation next year on that front as well. That's a total, Kyle, of over 30 different marketplaces we expect that you'll be able to trade to around the world next year.
And this is the beauty of security tokens, is that we're really trying to follow the same standard of compliance and regulation across these jurisdictions that a lot of these platforms are going to be launching and facilitating trade for investors in all of their jurisdictions. And so maybe U.S. investors may be segmented, or potentially international investors are able to get some access to things that others are not. But in the grand scheme of things, these are really going to be adding to the seamless nature of trading real-world assets. In the same way that cryptocurrency has pioneered this in that space of, you can send your Bitcoin from one exchange to another and capitalize on arbitrage opportunities or better liquidity or maybe other, engagement opportunities. The same thing is going to happen with investments in securities, in terms of in equities, in startup companies, in terms of investing in real estate, in terms of investing in a lot of these great, interesting assets that we cover here on the show every single week. And being able to take these assets and trade them around the world is going to revolutionize how crowdfunding can impact the retail investor. And it's just so exciting to see so much development happening in this space.
I mean, you should have goosebumps. I know that we do. I mean, this industry is about to explode. The security token boom is coming. We know that there are billions of dollars being tokenized. There's now $1 billion secondary market cap, and now you've got more than 4 or 5 times the trading venues coming live to market within the next year. Over 30 new liquidity pools that we'll be able to access for security tokens. So hopefully you're excited as we are. And make sure you keep checking out the show to learn when they all go live, when these new listings go. You can check out stomarket.com for all the trading information, all of the latest news. We've got great market reports and great different shows for you to check out and columns. And hopefully you'll catch us next week, every Monday.
So from John, Jessica, Keith, Herwig, and myself, we thank you for checking out this week's episode, and we'll talk to you next time.
Happy tokenizing.